Noel Wilson is founder of Unity Productions, a company set up to act as a vehicle for independent filmmakers. Some of the films that Noel has produced and cast have been Merry-Go-Round, the winner of the Borough Shorts held at BAFTA, Longing, Regret, among others. He also distributed the award-winning films 12 in a Box, Mars, Echoes of War, Hip Hop Opera, Don Dill, and has also worked with Robert Townsend, among other notables in the industry. He joins me on the sofa on the Just Tip Show today.
You're welcome back. This is just the Just Eve show. I have a guest with me in the studio today. Sorry, don't mind me. Oh no, these people are crazy. Anyway, that's me having fun with my crew. I have a guest in the studio today with me in the name of Noel Wilson. He is a casting agent, and we're going to be talking about his life and his journey, why he's doing what he's doing. This is the Just Eve show. We'll be back in a jiffy. You're welcome back, and Noel, it's lovely to have you on the show.
Nice to meet you.
Really nice.
Yeah.
I don't do shakes. I do hugs. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to say this. I know that I'm sounding like a cracked record, but we normally take a journey back to the beginning. What were your growing up years like?
My growing up years was like, my dad wanted me to be a mechanic, and I used to work with him, but I hated it. And I used to spend a lot of my time watching movies on TV. And I'm a comic reader, I read comics. Also dyslexic, so they thought I wasn't learning nothing by reading the comics. So my mum tore my comic up, which is an £800,000 comic, which was a Batman original.
Oh.
Yeah, but of course you don't blame them because at the time they wanted you to have a trade. So
Where are you from? Sorry for.
I'm born here,
Okay.
but my parents are mixed Jamaican American.
Oh, okay.
I carried on, kind of. I defied my dad really and went into the film world. After getting chucked out of the house.
Oh yeah, we get that.
We get that.
Yeah.
Very strict Caribbean upbringing. And wanted to be a filmmaker. That's what I really wanted to be. Went to film school, thinking that you could just walk off the street into film school, and was told it was £3,000 a term. Went back and said, Dad, can you help me out with this grant? And it was like, are you mad? Are you stupid? But going to the film school, I met some people who told me to follow a guy called Barry Navadi.
Yeah, but okay. Eventually, how did you get the money to go to film school?
Well, I didn't. I was making independent stuff like fashion shows, weddings, filming kickboxing tournaments, things like that. And when I tried to get into film school and not having the grant to get in, the woman said to me, "You're already making films, you're already doing it. So if I was to give you 20,000 now to come to school, what would you do with the money?" So I said, "I'll take that money and make a film." So she said, "You don't need to come here."
So what you know, you learnt on the job.
Learned on the job. Learned by hanging out with filmmakers, producers, directors. I actually used to shadow a guy who was quite a well-known filmmaker. Can I mention his name?
Yes, you can.
Barry Navadi.
Oh.
And he produced The Merchant of Venice with Al Pacino.
Yes.
At the time, I was introduced to him he was at film school, and he was graduating. So I used to hang out with him and watch and learn.
Very smart.
Yeah. So I started doing lots of film parts, bit parts, dabbled in acting, but watch the directors and watch what they was doing. Then nearly starved to death. And
We all get that when you're chasing the dream.
tracing a dream. And all of a sudden met an AD who got me a job, funny enough, on a film, a Simon Pegg movie called Shaun of the Dead,
Okay.
the zombie film.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is how the casting started. I was working with this AD, and he said to me, I need a Rasta guy. Do you know anybody? Yes.
You would know.
So every character he came up with, I knew that character. And that's how the casting started.
Wow.
Yeah.
It seems like, you know, there's some people that are born to do what they do, and there are others that have to work towards,
Yes.
what they do. To me, I would say we're born to do this because, from being told that, so you have to be a mechanic, and in your head, that nah.
No.
So, the people that you worked with, what were things that you picked up and you learned from them?
On The Mummy, for instance, I learnt about green screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was also in The Mummy. And Shaun of the Dead, the zombies,
Yeah.
Lock, Stock. I kind of watched the way Guy Ritchie worked. Yeah. I was never really interested in the acting part, but they always used to bring me to the forefront. So I learned quite a lot in different aspects: directing, producing, lighting, and of course casting.
Okay, the acting bits, were you were they just small roles, cameos? Were you prominent in the films?
In the Bollywood film, for instance, I was robbing a bank, and then ended up having a big shoot up in the film. It's a movie called Yade. I'm in the first 6 minutes.
First 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're a superstar.
No.
Yes, you are.
No. It was I was always exploited. So if I was in a movie, I was always kind of like being killed or robbing a bank.
But why did you do that then, if you felt exploited?
Because I was learning from the director.
Smart again.
Yeah.
Smart move. Okay, so you've learnt all this stuff, and you've gone on to do great things. You've done Mars, you've done Echoes of War, which, should I say, it's a Nollywood film?
Nollywood film, yeah.
Yes. What did you do on that one?
I cast the actors. I wonder if I should say this, but Obi. I offered Obi Chewy. Do you know Chewy?
Yes.
Ifadori?
Yes.
We call him Chewy, he doesn't like that name. But I offered him, and he said to me at the time, he was a nobody. And I said, well, you never know, he could be a somebody later on.
Yeah.
And he passed on him. Well, we all know where Chewy is now, don't we? Yeah? So, yeah.
So what was it like working with Obi?
It was good. It was good. He's very good. He knows what he wants. He knew where he was going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know that's about him.
And I'm working with him on his next movie.
Next movie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. And then your own hip hop opera. What's that?
Hip Hop Opera was a film I worked with a guy called Scott Noel, who was a good friend of mine. And it's a movie where we met Jessie J, who was from the Brit School, and she was 16 or 17 years old at the time, and she's in the movie. It's a movie about gun crime. And she was the biggest name in it. and it's
So,
yeah.
well, the title, hip hop opera, I wouldn't put them together in any way. Was there any kind of the music?
It's music. It's told through music.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
But at the time, we was working with Tony Blair, and the money came
From that. Okay.
from that. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, now, and in terms of being a casting director right now, what do you do exactly? Now, a producer comes to you and says, I have, this is my script. I want da 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 da. How does it work from there?
Well, first of all, you've got to read through the script, visualize the characters, and in your head, you have to kind of come up with who you think would suit that role. As an example, someone wants me now to get Richard Gere for a movie, and Richard Gere will only do a movie.
Is that an example or for real?
For real? Yes.
Okay, I'm
For
going to
real.
hobnob with you, whether you like it or not.
And Richard Gere will only work on a film if it's got a Buddhist element. If it's not Buddhist or spiritual, he won't do it.
Now you learned that about him.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
So we're waiting at the moment. But it's just trying to visualize that person in that role through the character.
Okay, we'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll continue with this conversation. Don't go anywhere.
Okay. It depends if you got that star quality or the presence. Some people got that presence. You got presence. So it's having that presence, and you know it immediately when you see that person. As soon as they come through the door, they've got it. Sight reading is actually memorizing from a script and reading, but not reading into it, but looking up, memorizing and looking up. That's sight reading. Always focusing on the casting director and the producer.
You're welcome back. This is the Just Steve Show, and I have as guest with me on the show today Noel Wilson, who is a casting agent, and I think I'm going to be very good friends with him because the people he's worked with, well, they're people that I want to meet, even just to shake their hands. So you will introduce me to some of them, won't you?
Definitely. Yes.
Okay, you've said that definitely before the whole nation, so you're not going to go
Yes.
back on that. Yeah, but okay. Now, having been a casting director, you try and get the people. Have you ever got it wrong sometimes?
Yes, have got it wrong. It's like casting for a Bollywood film, for instance. With the Bollywood films, they like the black people to play villains, and they're mad about blonde girls.
Oh,
Completely mad about blonde girls. I have got it wrong a couple of times where that person, I've tried to get somebody who I've cast before in a film who was quite gangstery, and I've cast them as a doctor
oh,
and told, because I knew them, and I thought, let's try and give them a chance.
chance. Okay,
And
to go the other way.
But it didn't work.
Okay, now I'm a young actress, right? I haven't acted before, and I come for a casting call. How would you cast me?
Well, first of all, it's a show reel. We need a show reel.
Okay,
Yeah. And sight
but I've
read.
never acted before. I've never done anything.
Okay. It depends if you got that star quality or the presence. Some people got that presence. You got presence. So it's having that presence, and you know it immediately when you see that person. As soon as they come through the door, they've got it. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, I can't compare you with Simon Cowell, for instance, because we all know that Simon Cowell can't sing, right? But it's a tricky question I'm asking, but how would you spot someone that you've never seen before, you've never heard them speak, you've never seen them act, and say, oh, that person will be good for that?
Okay, I was doing a theatre production once called This Island's Mine. Yeah. And I was in Brixton and I saw this Rasta guy and he was just walking along. And at the time, this guy was homeless. Yeah. I saw him walking along and he looked pretty rough. But there was a character in the theatre production which this guy fitted. And I went up to him and cast him and introduced him to the producers because he was the right character. And he was brilliant.
Isn't that typecasting?
Not typecast because he was homeless, but because he had that kind of... I was listening to him because he was selling the big issue.
Okay.
Yeah? But I was listening to his voice, and they needed a Jamaican actor, and this guy was a real Jamaican. And I thought, I'll cast him.
He got the role.
And he got the role.
Oh, fantastic. Interesting. Okay, let's take you back home a bit. Now you're doing so well with all that you're doing. How do how does your dad see you? Is he still here?
Oh, no, he's not around anymore. No.
Oh.
No.
I'm sure he'd be looking up from wherever he is saying, that's my son.
Yes.
Because that's how they normally do it. I remember myself when I was starting out in this job, my mom used to say, how can she just tell her friends her daughter is a broadcaster? It doesn't sound very nice, you know? Because in Africa, where I come from, it's either you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're an engineer, or you're a never-do-well. You know? So, and I know in the Caribbean, you get that as
Same
as
thing,
well.
yeah, the same thing.
Yeah.
I think my mum's still waiting for me to get a proper job. And
So she still thinks you're not doing a proper job.
and I remember meeting one of my aunts once. She works on the trains, and she saw me with about 6 or 7 girls, and she wanted to know, it was daytime, where am I going with these girls? And I was taking these girls to a casting. But in her head,
Something else.
something else.
And so what did you tell her?
Nothing. I think she told all the family.
Oh.
But I think Noel's a pimp.
That's very, very funny. Probably if I have a film, I'll cast you as that. No, only joking. Only joking. Unfortunately, time is not a friend of ours. But I'd like you to look in that camera and say something to the young ones out there who want to do, get into the entertainment industry, get into the film industry, theatre. Just say something that would encourage them or inspire them.
Basically, if you want to be a filmmaker, just do it. Just go and make the film. Try and learn how to write. Yeah, a writing course is very, very good. What you need is a very, very good idea as well. A very, 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 very good idea will take you somewhere. And also sight reading. If you're an actress or an actor, sight reading is very important. Yeah, if you can't sight read, you won't go nowhere.
Explain to those that don't know what sight reading is.
Sight reading is actually memorizing from a script and reading, but not reading into it, but looking up, memorizing and looking up. That's sight reading. Always focusing on the casting director and the producer.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Noel. We're going to go in a minute, but just before we go, you've got a challenge to do for us today. He's laughing. Well, I'm sure you can do it. Now, you are the one who normally picks those that can act and those that can fit into certain roles. Now, I'm going to give you a role. I'm going to play to tell you a scenario, and you're going to act it out for me. Now, you're an ex-president, right? Your wife is dying from cancer, and you've just got the news that your 19-year-old son has been accused of murder because he slept with a prostitute. I'll put the prostitute bit. He wanted to sleep with a white girl. He'd never done that before. And his friend got him this white prostitute, took her to a hotel, slept with her. After the act, he went to have his bath. By the time he came out, the girl had been murdered. Now, you are an ex-president on exile, right? You hear that this is what has happened to your son. Let's see you act it.
Okay.
So what you were doing was processing the
Processing.
information that you know, what you've just got. Well,
Less is more.
well done. Well done. Thank you so much, Noel, for coming on the show. I hope you'll come back again when we ask you to. You will do?
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, I've learned another thing today on the Justice Show. That's what we always do. We're going to do this again sometime soon. Until then, go have yourself a wonderful time. Don't do what I want to do, whatever that is. I remain Evelyn Abajo. Goodbye and God bless.
À la première diplômée de la famille. Merci, maman. Elsa, je suis fière de toi.
Tu vas faire quoi avec tout ce pognon?
Je vais m'acheter un billet d'avion et retourner là-bas. C'est hors de question. Qu'est-ce que tu cherches? Qu'est-ce que tu espères trouver là-bas?
Dégagez.
Il n'y a personne qui t'attend, Elsa. Personne.
Vous êtes la babysitter envoyée par l'agence?
Oui?
Si j'ai un conseil à te donner, reste pas trop longtemps dans cette famille.